Hey there, buds. Some people claim that there's a cheater in every single lobby, and others declare they've never been killed by a cheater. The truth is most likely somewhere in the middle. But how can you know? If the game developer knew, they'd ban them. And if a game doesn't have a replay system, which Escape from Tarkov does not have.
I've definitely heard from my friends that there's a lot of cheaters in Tarkov.
How does a player know how bad it is? So I came up with a plan to answer this question once and for all. The plan. Number one, we will find a cheater. This should not be difficult. This is Escape from Tarkov we're talking about here. Number two, we will spectate said cheater, and we will observe their gameplay using their ESP. Number three,
we will find the cheater overlord and we will destroy them.
Whoa, easy, Tiger.
Gotta cheat to find the cheaters.
Number three, we will figure out how many cheaters there are in every Tarkov raid using the cheater's ESP knowledge. Let's go do it. Before we get into the footage, I want to throw this disclaimer in here. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that if you watch this video, it will change the way you look at first-person shooters, especially games like Escape from Tarkov, forever. If you enjoy playing Escape from Tarkov and you're having a great time, keep playing the game, and it may not be a bad idea just to not watch this video. But if you're frustrated with the cheating situation...
What's hilarious is that even if you don't know how many cheaters there are in a game, everyone just assumes they're cheating anyways.
And you want to know how bad it is, this is the video for you. The game developers are most likely going to copyright strike and try to take down this video. If that occurs, I have a video ready to go. It doesn't contain any game footage, and I will put it up immediately. And if this video is still up on YouTube, you can try to make a copy of it and download it. I'm not going to...
Have they done that in the past, though? Like, videos exposing cheaters get copyright strike for Tarkov, specifically? Because I haven't heard about that.
Go into details there. I'm sure you know how to use
That'd be
Google.
really shitty.
Now back to the video. Step one, we need to find a cheater. This was not hard.
I think that everybody in gaming and in the content creation space agrees that using copyright strikes, just because you don't like someone's take on something, is just universally a bad choice.
Just look at these metrics. There are over 1,000 people online right now in this Discord, and you don't even need to be in the Discord to get the cheats. They have sales, and check out this. In early February, they had 4,000 concurrent users connecting to the servers at one time. And this is just one cheat developer of many. And while there are plenty of cheaters in these Discords, I need to find someone that I actually trust. Do you remember Evoker? He was the cheater I interviewed and shadowed in my video, Messy Truth About Hacking in Video Games. He has some pretty fancy cheats that are very useful to collect the information I needed. And even though I vowed to keep him anonymous, he knew that the cheat devs could figure out if he was the one who leaked the footage. Evoker was more worried about getting caught by the cheat developer than the game developer. Let that sink in. The cheat developers are more careful and restrictive with their software than the game developer. Evoker was out. So I took matters into my own hands and installed...
Well, if you ban... I wonder if they're just not banning... There's so many cheaters in Tarkov that they're just not banning them because they don't want to hurt the game population.
Cheats. And 5 minutes later, I was a real hacker. Okay, that was easy. But before we go on this cheater catching rampage, we need to set some ground rules. Number one, fresh account. I'm not playing on my main account. Number two, no killing PMCs, even if I think they're cheating. Number three, no transferring of loot, no boosting, and no playing with anyone else. And number four, after a few days of testing, reset the account. So this is the start of a normal match in Escape from Tarkov. It's a night raid, so it's harder to spot players, unless you flip on ESP. You can see the player's level, kill to death ratio, their distance, what gun they have out, how much ammo they have, their hitbox or skeleton, everything with this cheat. And this isn't even a really good one. In addition to that, you have radar down in the bottom right-hand corner. It shows everything.
Got a radar.
This is going to be really nice when we're seeing if another player is tracking us through walls, because you can see what direction they're looking with the little arrows. I witnessed a player with a high KD drop someone on the way in. I plan to creep up and just see what he does. And while I creep up, this other player surprises me. Yes, even with ESP and radar, you can still get surprised. I follow my rule and let the PMC kill me. I can't tell you how many raids this happened in. Was the guy cheating? I have no evidence whatsoever. As far as I can tell, this was just a normal raid. In this next raid, I decided to investigate this big team fight that was going down. A few players had already died. That's what that white default inventory text is. I gave them several opportunities to get spooked. I even jumped up in this tree to really test them, and nothing. A player scav rolled up and I decided to have a little fun. And yeah, I'm using a voice changer. On the first day of testing, I actually thought I was going to come back to Tarkov, and I didn't want to get recognized in game. More on that later.
Don't shoot, okay? We cool? Come over to the tree,
Yeah, I see.
I'm gonna admit, dude, like when I run into someone with a voice changer in game, I get so weirded out, man. It seems like it honestly just feels really creepy to me. But I don't know. Maybe if I was as big as he was, I would understand why. But like from the other side, it just kind of weirds me out.
Yeah, there's two.
It feels like they're like, I don't know. It's like I don't like being deceived like that, right? Like they're hiding stuff from me.
It's painfully clear that these two Chads are legit. How refreshing.
Whoa, don't shoot!
The last person I ran into with a voice changer in Valorant, first of all, they lied to me about their age like 2 or 3 times, which I didn't hear them, what they said, but when I was watching the VOD and listening it back, thinking about making an edit, they said they were one age, and then like later on in the clip, when I didn't hear them, obviously, because they didn't respond to it. And then later on, they said they brought it up again, and they said a different age. And then they were like copying Valorant TikTokers and using lines from other Valorant TikTokers, and then claiming that they were them. And I was like, okay, this is just fucking weird. So I just blocked them right after that.
We have a fun little interaction and we go our separate ways.
I saw you looting. You guys were standing still. I could have popped you in the head. I made a pact not to kill PMCs. I'm kind of doing a quest.
Okay. So you guys don't want to loot crack house, right? You guys can just pass through. How about that?
Okay, I'm gonna go through the big wall. Hey, don't flank me. Just leave me alone.
A player scav? Why are you teaming up with a player scav?
Listen, man. I'm not telling you what to do with your life.
Fair enough.
I thought maybe things aren't that bad. However, I didn't really have a solid plan to determine if someone was cheating or not. How can you know? I load into a night raid and I look around the map and I decide to check out this low-level, high KD player. I roll up, glance down at the radar,
wiggle,
and he
dude.
locks onto my position. He lies down. Is this my first cheater? Did I find one? No, he's literally just AFK. Raid after raid, nothing. It honestly was pretty boring. But then I discovered a secret weapon,
It's not so bad.
the wiggle. And the wiggle was all I needed.
Jeez. My guy's wiggling to everyone.
2 legit players showed up and I watched the cheater destroy them.
Sheesh.
I went to the roof to see what he would do.
He's got the new no
He was
recoil
stuck in a
too.
healing animation.
I'm like spazzing out right now.
Oh, like, can
What?
you use your gun?
Even cheaters can get Tarkoved.
No.
Another player rolled up and I died to him. And if you question if that wiggle was completely random, he sent me a message in game after the fact. Cheaters change their names all the time. The next day he had already changed his. What's so brilliant about the wiggle is that it shows the other hacker that I cheat. If they respond to it by wiggling back, it confirms that they have ESP.
It's a mutual
And that's what I
respect
wanted.
between cheaters.
I wanted them to show their hand. In the hacking community, a wiggle is a form of a truce, a peace offering. Armed with this new information, I went back into raid to track down another cheater. The ESP tells you who is on a team, and here we have Team 1 and
It even
Team
shows
2.
the grenades.
And I figured I could find out if the winner was legit or not.
So OP.
Team 1 gets third party, but handles the threat quickly.
Dude,
Killed them.
finding grenades in Tarkov, you have to just go off sound. It's so hard to tell where they are and where they're coming from.
The Team 2 guys, look how much they backed off. They're not even fighting over their friends' bodies anymore. They're just back here sitting in the gas station. What are they doing?
It's so bizarre. You see that happen. You've seen it happen a few times, right?
That's why for the channel, Kel you're hearing. She plays Tarkov as well. We speculated it was possible that both teams might have someone who's not legit. When the ESP turns red, it means there is a direct line of sight to the target. I tested Team 1 several times, and this guy's not watching his ESP if he is hacking. I was pretty confident they're not cheating.
At least I feel like, because I played a fuck ton of Dark and Darker, and while the games are really similar, if you were ESP hacking in Dark and Darker, it's really not going to help you that much. Because the sound, like people, their footsteps are loud as fuck, right? And even if they run up on you, you have a pretty good shot at winning the fight regardless, right? Now, if they're like speed hacking or something, okay, well then you're going to be fucked. You won't stand a chance in Dark and Darker. But that's super obvious if people are hacking with speed hacks, and I'm pretty sure the anti-cheat will catch that pretty well. But in a game like Tarkov, if they can see you through walls, it's hard to prove. And they can just laser you or just snipe you from across the map, and you have no way of knowing. And it's giga OP.
I needed to stay close to keep the pressure on.
Also, I feel like in Tarkov, the gear disparity is much bigger. Like you can ball out with some really, really banger gear, like super expensive gear in Tarkov. And it will take you forever to make the money back to get back to that nice gear set. In Dark and Darker, I can grind out a max level gear set and like you can grind it out in like 3 raids if you get lucky. And you can get a pretty nice kit. So it's not
I
really a
can't
big
jump
deal.
this wall right
Like
here
dying
and
in
kill me if
dying in
they
Dark and Darker is not a big
I was gonna
deal.
say you get so
Suspect me of
close
it.
up in this stuff.
Team 2 loses another player in the fight, and the last man surviving heads to the extract, which was a wise move. The dust settles, and I try the wiggle. Oh, he's
That's
wiggling.
crazy, dude.
Look. See that?
Yep. Does that mean the whole
He took
team?
out his red. He took out his red rebel.
Does
What?
that mean the whole team
took
is
out-
cheating if he's doing that?
He meleeed
Let's
like
see what happens when I
the
when I come
wall
over.
or like a truck to show that he's friendly.
This guy takes a few pop shots at me, and I let the cheaters take care of him. That scav up there lit me up.
Do your voice changer.
Oh, that scam?
Yeah, dude. Up on the hill. He lit. Unless what you shot at me, I don't think you did.
No, we were shooting at that scam up there, if that's him.
Wait, he shot me through the barbed wire.
He's just a better player, you know?
Yeah.
Be careful. You need anything?
Nah, man, I'm good. That
These guys are probably rich as fuck from cheating.
out that those guys were hacked.
Yeah, yeah,
He took out his red rebel the second I took out my
yep, yep. That whole team.
100% cheating.
That whole team.
That whole team. Sometimes I would just antagonize
Wow.
a cheater with the wiggle to get them to rage hack on me, and it works.
Just imagine this guy's aggressively wiggling and running at
I
you.
know this guy's getting so annoyed. He's trying to avoid me, but you're only level 11. I can keep up with you, buddy.
Aggressive wiggling.
Hello there, sir. Hello there, sir. Whoa.
Oh yeah, I will say one complaint about Dark and Darker is that the VoIPing kind of sucks. Most people didn't have it set up. Oh, it's not set up by default. It's a lot of people have struggled to set it up, myself included.
He just deleted that level 52. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey there, bro.
Oh
Wow.
no. Instantly dropped.
I found it quite common that cheaters ran in groups. Their KDs are extremely high, in the top 1%.
What is...
And after this guy gets this insane nade
No,
kill,
they're just better.
sneak up on their position.
They're just that good.
It should be noted that I am not overweight.
They can
and I
just
make sure to
sense your
silently
position
crouch
because of
walk,
that
not
good of a
hitting bushes,
player.
etc. It makes no sense that he would lock onto my position here.
He's got an 11 KD.
He sidesteps left and right, and I track him to show them that I'm watching. He knows I have ESP, and he doesn't like it.
He's not wiggling,
What are you
dude. He
gonna
doesn't want to
do?
give it away.
Show me your hand. His buddy's moving in to help him out.
Oh, he's about to
They
get gunned
assume
down,
I'm
dude.
gonna just like aim bottom, I bet.
He's about to gun down.
He must have the grenadier task or something because he's looking for nades to throw at me. And before I make any noise, they just start talking.
Hello.
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 Hello. I have a starting pistol out. I don't have any ammo. You got whoa.
Jeez.
I set my sights on this very high KD player. He had
Jesus.
just dropped somebody. I approach carefully.
They're that much better. They can
He
talk to him
notices I'm
without
getting
knowing
close,
he's there.
and look how precise his lock is on the radar. Sometimes I'd run into
Yeah,
a cheater on the
okay.
way to another cheater.
That guy was
He snaps
definitely
to me as I
cheating.
get close.
Came over the hill, instantly guns him down.
He closes the door. And the wiggle. It surprises me every time. And once I developed the strategy and started investigating more people in every single raid, the cheaters were everywhere. The KD of 2 is good, but it's not that good. This has got to be so annoying from their perspective.
That guy's a TTVer too.
They don't want to react, but they have to.
Look, he's a
I keep
cheater. He's
pestering
a
with the
cheater
wiggle.
with the 2.0
They
KD.
know I cheat.
TTV
they
something.
Know I have ESP now. If you're not
TTV
familiar with how
wrench.
Escape from Tarkov works, you don't make sound when you silent crouch walk underweight like this. This is the most lawyer reaction a cheater can have. It's like he's saying, I know, but I'm not going to let it be known that I know. There's literally no reason for him to be standing over here looking at my exact angle. I hadn't made any noise. This weird standoff continued for a while.
TTV trench,
Alright, man. Well,
dude.
good luck.
I try
About
to
to
leave
get
and he sort of
banned.
holds me up. I gotta give the guy credit though. He's being a lot more subtle than most people in this video.
That really wasn't subtle at all.
I was expecting to die right here. But maybe he's like me and he just has ESP and no aimbot. I had no idea what this guy was gonna do next.
Whoa, bro. Hey, man. I'm backing off, bro. I have a knife. What's up?
Maybe he wants to be friends.
And who are you fooling with the fake TTV name?
Alright, cool. Listen, dude, I'm not trying to, like, fuck with you. I just was saying hi. Just doing the wiggle, you know? If you're saying anything, I can't hear you. Just letting you know. Is your buddy cool? Whoa. We're cool. You want me to leave or hang out?
Leave, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, cool.
I'd been pestering this guy for about 3 minutes, slowly creeping up,
What a fucking villain, dude.
and I finally
Wouldn't-
pushed him to his limit.
What an absolute stalker.
And don't forget about Radar. Just look at how locked on he is.
I'd be pissed off too.
Yeah, okay,
Ow.
bud. I'd already gotten these guys to wiggle, but I wasn't recording. You gotta give me a break though, man. I've had a bad cold. I cannot believe I wasn't recording.
I feel that.
I'm usually good about it, but I went to go get a drink while I was loading in, and I usually hit the recording.
I feel that.
Messed
man.
up your flow.
Hey guys, what's up?
Fighting or are we friendly?
Oh, dude, I'm friendly. I'm friendly. You gotta respect the wiggle, dude. Hell yeah, man.
What you got going on, man? Why are you just hanging out with a knife?
And I wonder how they know I have my knife out. How are they missing this much?
Because they're not good at the game. That's why they have the download cheats.
They must be ass, dude.
Yeah, just come around to the garage.
He's got the 0.5 KD with cheats on.
I feel like you're gonna kill me.
You're not in a position to negotiate, my man. Sounds like you're not doing so
Alright, I
good.
guess I'll come.
And this doesn't break the rule, but this is the closest thing I did to killing a player. Sounds like you don't have much time, brother.
No,
He's
I don't.
struggling, bro.
You better hurry.
Scab, though, so I
This
bet you
game
might
is so fucking hard, man. It's even hard with cheats on.
do really good.
No, come over here and I'll give you heals, but you're the one that's not coming over here. I'm not even the one that shot at you.
That is so much bullshit, dude, in this game.
I felt bad for this guy, but I needed to stay undercover. You gotta get in here, brother.
Dude, he's
Oh my God,
dying.
his health is... He's not gonna make it.
He's not
Come
gonna
on in,
make
come on in,
it,
come on in.
dude.
He's gonna die before.
Drop him some
What's his
heals.
health at?
4, 3. Get over here, get over here. Come. Get the cover, get the cover. Alright, I'm gonna drop it on the ground for you. See that?
No.
I was watching his health tick down and I was like, he's not gonna make it. This is gonna be so funny.
No.
See, I've earned these guys' trust, you know?
Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't gonna kill this scav, and he could have just popped me right there. Most hackers won't wiggle back, but it doesn't matter. The wiggle still works. They know I have ESP.
Dude, you hate to see it, man. Poor guy.
Don't forget to check the radar in the bottom
The
right. during
poor
this
guy
match.
is struggling at this game, man. He's absolutely down bad. Just get out of raid once. Needs
Even
the
though I have
hacks.
my knife out. He's worried about me. He's tracking me this whole way around. When you're playing against normal players, they don't ever look at you like this on the radar.
I wonder if like some of the hacks like can't tell that he's wiggling. You know what I mean? They just know that he's there, and they're just like that's why he's just tracking him and not like respecting the wiggle. You know what I mean?
Up until this point, you could argue some of this could just be chance. Maybe he thought he saw something at my location and he's watching it like a hawk.
Okay, but now he's making noise.
But it's starting to become very obvious. And I want to seal the deal in this interaction. Are you back, Travis? This guy's 100% cheating. He won't wiggle at me, but he's doing everything. Just basically tracked me in a big circle. Like he's turning back looking directly at me. Look at this. That's my friend Travis. He was watching me record some of these raids live. He's been in several of my shorts. I'm going to get him to rage on me. Just pop
He's
me
been
in the
in
head
his
like he's gonna
shorts?
pop me in the head the second I show anything. You ready?
Gay. Damn, the aimbot.
Let's watch this back in slow
That's some
motion.
insane
He shot me
aimbot.
through the bush without an actual sight line. The server had a bit of lag and placed the death behind solid cover. In this raid, I was tracking down a rager.
That's fucking
and en route to his
bullshit.
position, he was dead. It turns out he got killed by a different hacker.
Let me see this. Even
Placed
this
the death
guy
behind solid cover.
only has
In
he has
this raid, I was
6.6
tracking down a
KD, so he's
rager.
still
And
dying
en
to
route his
bullshit in this
position,
game.
He was dead.
Probably
Turns
other
out he got killed
hackers.
by a different hacker. A legit player rolls through, and the cheater is holding an angle. Geez, I wonder who's going to win this fight.
Oh no.
He gets the kill, of course.
The
Let's see if he'll respond
9.36
to the
KD. You know this guy's hacking.
And wiggle confirmation. I got my knife though. Peace, peace.
Peace, bro.
I was just saying peace.
Friendly.
Nice kill. I don't
I'm
know
just
why I told him
naked.
nice kill.
I just got a knife.
You got that guy with like that guy earlier. What was his KD? Oh shit. I'm always trying to get them to verbally confirm that they're cheating.
Huh?
What was that other guy's? That guy was raging. The other guy, right?
It was like 15, bro.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's high too, but I gotta lower it.
He did.
Yeah.
He probably. Oh,
That's
you know
all
what?
good.
They probably go into raid with nothing, with just a knife, and then they just die to a scab to lower their KD.
Either way. It's always a cherry on top when you get the verbal confirmation of cheating. He admitted to knowing the KD of the guy he killed. There's a single bot follower scav still alive. That means a rare boss spawned on the map and there's only one guard left.
But they lower their KD because only other cheaters would know if they have a really high KD. So they only do it to deceive other cheaters.
You ever wonder why it's so hard to get boss kills sometimes? The cheaters will get to them
Or maybe
first.
it's get around the
and
anti-cheat.
they don't want you near it. Oh, this guy's raging. Jesus Christ, that guy was raging. Watching the radar really seals the deal in this clip. Check this out. There's a tree between us. This kind of works out.
Just locks in on his position.
Oh.
Literally just locks in
You
on him and
can't
takes him
argue
out.
with the wiggle. It's the closest thing to 100% confirmation. And I got better at identifying the cheaters. I would sometimes find them in back-to-back raids. One night, I ran into cheaters 5 raids in a row. I would love to share some stats with you. In my
Jesus,
125
5
raids,
in a row?
I never ran into a fly hacker. I had 0 raids with the stinky leg invincibility hack. I never ran into anyone speed hacking. And it was actually quite rare that I got aimbot or rage hacked. There were obvious cheaters in about 60% of my raids. The best predictor that a cheater would be in your raid is one simple thing: the number of people in the lobby. If a lobby had more people or was near full, it is almost guaranteed that a cheater is in your raid. Sometimes players would just avoid me and I couldn't really test them. I only reached level 13, so it's not like I was able to outrun and catch up to anybody.
How many people
who
are in
really
a
wanted to.
Tarkov raid? Like 10? 7? 8? 15? Ah, fuck. Let me look this up.
to evade me. The time of day matters. At nighttime, I encountered more cheaters than early morning
It's different
or
for map,
midday.
man.
It's reasonable to assume that I missed many
is for
closet
map.
ESPers. I was only able to investigate a handful of people in every single raid. Often I would die to a PMC, or a sniper scav would give me away, or something would happen that would prevent me from investigating more people in the raid.
Okay, 8 to 13. So it's like 1 in 10 players are a hacker.
So while I would try to get around and check out as many people as I could, it's just impossible. Even though I literally confirmed 60% of my raids had a cheater in them, the actual number has to be higher. There's a lot more that I'd like to cover in this video. All of the various discoveries I made about how cheaters act, some of the sussy interactions that I couldn't 100% validate as a cheater, including someone who was streaming live, and much more, such as the difficulty of getting past the stream-proof feature of the ESP. Very difficult to actually record the footage. And what's the actual solution to the problem? And why is it so bad recently? And I'd love to do a follow-up answering all these questions, as well as responding to the comments and the feedback that I'm inevitably going to get. I'm going to end this video with an interview. I hope you enjoy. This is Luke. You may know him as the co-founder of Linus Media Group and the current COO of Flowplane Media. And he's an avid Tarkov player. And I showed him most of these clips before the release of this video. There was this gasp of just, oh my God. This happened to me when I came across the first cheater. It happened to my buddy Travis when he was watching me play. He had watched me live while I was recording. And it happened to Kelly when she was shadowing me. And it happened to you too. I heard it from you when you saw the wiggle. And tell me how that felt. What were you feeling in that moment?
It hurt, man. It hurt for like reasons that are almost hard to explain too, because like the wiggle specifically being the tool that they use to identify fellow jackasses.
Thing is, like, doesn't everybody in Tarkov use the wiggle even if you're not cheating? Like just normal PMCs or scavs teaming up, they wiggle too.
Is so frustrating because the wiggle was something that the Tarkov community as a whole had used to capture this part of the game which was not fighting each other, which was always so rare but beautiful in its own right. And now it's just tainted in this horrible way.
Jesus.
And when you're watching it happen, you're seeing Adam stare at someone through walls with ESP, and you're just hoping the whole time. You know they're staring right at him. You know it's weird that they're staring right at him, but you're hoping. You're like, don't wiggle, right? Because you've heard that it's going to happen. And then when it does happen, I think just all your hope just dissolves because
this guy's in love
when it's
with
that
Tarkov.
prevalent, like what do you do? I don't know.
He's
And
that
you
much
know
in love
that
with
something
Tarkov.
must be common if there's a culture that's been built around it. And when you're talking about how people say like, oh, thanks for respecting the wiggle, that just makes it so that you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is a thing that happens all the time. So that means that there are cheaters running into each other all the time, which means that they're extremely populous.
Yeah, and the idea that the cheaters would group up and team up together against the legit players as if it's a red versus blue, a us versus them situation.
Yeah.
And I almost felt...
The problem is you can't even hate the cheaters because it's Battlestate Games is the one that's allowing this to happen, right? That's the real issue. That's the reason it's becoming so prevalent in the community and that people are just coming to accept that there's just a lot of cheaters in the game. Is it because the developers have just accepted it?
Like I was impersonating a cheater in role playing. I mean, I'm doing investigative journalism, right? I'm acting. I told this guy, nice kill one time, and I like cringed inside. I was like, why did I say that? But I was trying to come up with something to like connect with them, and it felt like nasty almost, but it worked. And these guys would kind of open up to you sometimes. The guy asked me to friend him afterwards, you know?
Wow.
I've never once had someone ask me to friend them afterwards. And like, it wouldn't be that hard to tell someone your gamer tag through voice. It just never happens. And then it seemed so common in your raids. So they're clearly teaming up. So not only is cheating enough, but they have to work together, which is, I'm just getting mad even thinking about it.
I mean, it makes sense though, because how could you possibly jump into a normal raid with a team that's not cheating? Because you'll have to play and act the entire time. Otherwise, they'll start to catch on. And then they're going to single you out. They're not going to want to play with you, obviously. They're going to have mixed feelings about that.
fire here, you know?
Yeah.
Tarkov's a game unlike a lot of other games.
I sure wouldn't want to play with. If I was playing with someone and I found out that they were cheating, I wouldn't want to play with them anymore. I'd feel like lied to.
And one of the things that's special about it is you tend to value your life in this game. I remember when the Modern Warfare playtest or the beta went.
Yeah, and that's another one. Like, Tarkov is a game where you're putting so much on the line every raid, right? But you're going into raid with the expectation that other players are doing the same thing, right? And so there's a mutual respect for everybody in raid. But when someone's cheating, it just destroys all of that, the entire culture of the game, right?
Went live, the recent one, and I found myself, I had just finished a Tarkov session and I started playing it, and I ended up playing, some game mode, and I was just like, I just don't care whether I die or not. I just don't care. Like, I want to win. It's fun getting kills and getting more points, but it's missing that sadness factor when you lose, and when you win, you don't feel like you won much. And Tarkov is not like that. And why do you think cheating is so much of a bigger deal in a game like Tarkov?
I played Eve for many years. It feels similar to Eve,
course.
Where I think even more so in Tarkov, but with Eve and Tarkov, not only do you lose everything that you have when you die, but the things that you have are highly customized to how you like to play. Now, in Eve, you don't customize the individual components, you just customize what individual components are on your ship. And it's very easy to just rebuy all the stuff that you previously had using I don't think it's actually called a blueprint, but using what I'm going to call a blueprint. It's been a long time. In Tarkov, you can technically save a loadout for a firearm, but I think the amount of people that use that is not actually going to be that high. It's mostly streamers. So you have people that have taken a gun into a few different raids and maybe added some attachments to it along the way.
You get attached to your gear, man. You fall in love with it.
Changing colors.
The feeling of losing that one gear set that's carried you through so much shit is like no other in another game. And it's like amazing, but it's so like haunting too, because it's going to happen one day. You're going to have to say goodbye to your favorite gun, your favorite backpack, whatever. And it just makes it like that much more special when it happens.
On it to make it like look cooler or feel better in a variety of ways, making it.
I actually really love Dark and Darker for the reason that because the items have randomized rolls, right? Like in Tarkov you don't have like an M4 with +5 bullet velocity. That doesn't exist, right? But in Dark and Darker you might get a longsword with +3 strength, right? And it's like, if you die with that longsword, you may never ever get that specific sword again. You can get another longsword. You may even get a better longsword, but it won't be that special longsword.
Truly their own. And then you lose it, and recreating that might not be the easiest thing ever. You might not even have access to some of the attachments that are on that firearm until you're further into the game.
Yeah. And maybe if you find the exact same piece for a particular part of your kit, but you'll never truly have the same full kit that you rolled in, that maybe you built up, maybe you did like 5 raids with, and it carried you through a boss fight, or maybe it carried you through a really stressful raid and saved your group. You'll never have that same kit again. It's always a fresh experience.
You might also have a piece of armor that you can't buy on the flea. That is the only version of that armor that you had. You might have various things that are irreplaceable or not easy to replace. And you lose those, and not only is re-gearing in Tarkov extremely tedious, so you instantaneously lose a very significant amount of just your own time, because you invested a bunch of time into that loadout, and then you waited sometimes extreme amounts of time to get into a raid, started running around, and then got taken out by a cheater or a regular player or a scav or whatever it is. But you lost it all. So not only did you lose the time investment, but you also lost all the things. So you lose this value number that you're constantly staring at in your stash, which is your ruble amount or total stash value. But you also lost a very significant amount of time.
Cheating is always going to exist in almost everything in life, unfortunately. I think anybody who's reasonable understands that. but there's certainly an acceptable amount. And that's different for everybody. What would you designate is the acceptable amount that you would deal with in a game like Tarkov?
It's hard to quantify like an exact number, but I think understanding, like you said, that people are going to cheat at everything imaginable, it should be low enough that I don't assume that it's happening. It should be low enough that if someone's like, oh, I died to a cheater, my default reaction to it is like, oh,
Probably
yeah,
not.
right. You know, like,
Yeah,
probably
right.
not, dude. You probably just got owned. The guy's probably
You suck, bro. Like,
and I think the main problem with Tarkov right now is that I don't necessarily feel that way. My exact reaction when someone says they died to a cheater isn't like, oh, come on. It's more,
maybe you did.
yeah, that sucks. There's a lot of them right now.
Bro, that
Which
sucks, man.
It makes me
It's so
question every
ass.
single engagement I ever have, and it removes the like. I would like to be at a state where if I lose in a video game, I want to watch the replay back, figure out what I could have done better, figure out what that other player did really well, and try to grow myself forward so that I don't lose again, instead of dismissing potentially all of that and just going like, well, I hope I don't run into a cheater next time.
While I was editing just now, I put together 3 or 4, I think it was 5 clips in a row of me egging on aimbot, ragers. And some of these guys had 20 KDs and 19 KDs, stuff like that. And I would egg these guys on, right, over the course of 3 to 5 minutes. And then they would aim lock my head and go full auto. The sound is very unique when someone full autos your head in the game, because the first bullet kills you, and then the bullets go like straight over your head, and they don't hit the ground, and they're in the same flight pattern. It's a very like strange noise. And after hearing that back to back to back, I had a flashback. I went back to like, oh my God, I remember dying like that several times this last week.
Wow.
And I thought it was weird, and now I have like the repetition to know that it was like an aim lock headshot, spray. And you shouldn't have that. That shouldn't be.
And usually that's pretty easy for anti-cheats to pick up in most games. Like zero recall hacks, that's easy to deal with.
In your like memory, it shouldn't be that common. It should be so rare that you're like, oh, that sounds a little weird. Okay, whatever.
And like it sucks
Yeah,
too.
it shouldn't even be like a pattern that you pick up on easily. It should just, without a doubt, it shouldn't be that common at all.
Because that is technically possible if you set up a gun that has really, really good recoil. If you're really familiar with that gun, say if your skills that contribute to recoil in that gun or ergonomics in that gun or whatever are very high, etc. Like it's possible for someone to get a bunch of shots to you in the dome. It sucks that basically every single time that happens.
This reminds me of Rust, because the old Rust AK had a learnable recoil, and some people literally put in like hundreds of hours learning the recoil so that they could laser beam people in the head. But it was also a problem because some people would just cheat and hack to make it happen, which is fairly common as well, especially on the official servers. Funny how that works. And so it actually got really hard to learn who was cheating and who wasn't, because some people were just literal giga chads in Rust. Of course, that isn't the case anymore because they changed the recoil patterns to be random. But that was how Rust was for a long time.
The default rational assumption is that that person's cheating. I don't know. It just removes so much aspiration when anytime that happens, you're like, it's a cheater again. Because I think probably a decent amount of people that have played this game have, if you've played it a lot, you've ran into a situation where you're wearing like an Elzish or an Alton or something, and you run into someone who has something terrible, like it's some scav with a APS or something, and they just dump like 15 rounds into your face hitbox in a full auto. You're just like, okay, that's extremely obvious that guy's cheating, right? You don't even die.
Yeah.
They all hit you in the face. And it's the fact that we can pretty much all recall when that has happened once or twice is frustrating.
Will you be returning to the game anytime soon?
I want to, man. I do. I've been playing this game since...
You can hear the pain in his voice, man, when he's trying to answer this question. It's so sad.
2017. I don't want to stop right now. Right now, with the amount of things going on. I mean, there's still invisible players. As far as I know, there was a patch like a couple days ago where they said they fixed it, and all the responses on their patch announcement is people dying to invisible players. So there's invisible players, which sometimes is people doing it intentionally, so it's a form of cheating, but sometimes it's just not. I had a really weird kill that I got on someone and that I was like fairly confused about, and then he added me to friends, and he was like, man, I didn't hear any of your shots, like where were you even at? Dude, he was like barrel stuffing me. I must have been invisible. I had no idea.
Yeah,
and that just feels so bad because I thought I got this guy. It was my first SVD kill for Punisher. Like I was feeling pretty all right. He had a kitted out SVD. I was happy about the loot. And then he's messaging me about how I was effectively invisible, assuming he's telling the truth. And now I feel dirty with this SVD. I can't even bush drop it for him because he couldn't communicate that to me before I got out of the raid. So that just sucks. So the invisible players is brutal. The audio stuff that we just dealt with for so long was brutal. And then cheaters feel worse than ever.
Dude, this
even
guy,
knowing
this guy makes Tarkov and Battlefield games to be some kind of like toxic, manipulative girlfriend. He's just like, he can't stop coming back to the game, and it has so many problems that are not getting fixed, and he's just dealing with them because he likes this fucking game and this genre is too much.
That playing the game is wasting my time. I have other things that I could waste my time with better. You know,
Sure.
that aren't just going to lead to purely negative frustration. Because there's a lot of like good stress in Tarkov, right? Like situations that are really stressful that I want to be in. And I've played this game for years. I don't mind losing. I also really enjoy winning. But I don't want to just deeply question every single time that I do lose. And early wipe, it wasn't really like that. When the audio was completely messed up, but there was no invisible players yet, early wipe, this wipe, I was having a really good time. I actually really enjoyed the game. And the vast majority of my engagements, I think, were genuinely fine.
I wonder if because every wipe in Tarkov, a lot of players come back to the game. And I wonder if it's majority of the cheaters that stick around until the late wipe. And they don't leave the game in between wipes. And so when it's fresh wiping, we have so many influx of players that you basically don't notice the cheaters that much.
And even though the audio was messed up, they felt okay. But somewhere along the line, it just stopped feeling that way. I don't know where the change is, but yeah.
Yeah. And generally, the start of the wipe is the best because it has the largest player pool. And then as the weeks go on, it goes to people who are playing more and more hardcore players, and the game gets more difficult. And then the cheaters start arriving. And I think the big thing for me as far as returning is like, I know that there are cheaters and I've been rage hacked on, and I can generally kind of feel when a fight feels like it's unfair. But what I didn't realize is just how many like closet ESPers there were. And, you know, they're not wiping the lobby. Like I was talking about the stats in the video. Nobody wiped the lobby in any of my lobbies. It was 125 raids. But what they'll do is if you roll up on them, you're just not going to win if you walk into the building where they're at.
You just get unlucky.
You are near Rashala and he needs Rashala. He's probably going to, you know, click it on and put it into turbo. If you're in their way or you're making their game not fun, you're the one that's not going to have fun.
It's just unlucky.
That might be one raid a night and it might be 4 in a row. You just never know. And I think it's the ups and downs, the extreme lows of injustice, and just maybe not knowing sometimes is what's the worst.
I think that is the.
It just ruins your trust in the game
about watching,
right? Because you don't know who you're gonna just roll up on and just get beamed, and it's just not fun.
A bunch of the footage that you showed me was, I had always kind of had this question sometimes where I'm like, man, there's like no way that guy knew that I was there, but maybe he's just a gamer.
He's just a god gamer,
right?
Dude.
And the main times that I would get really frustrated are when like someone that I know where they are, but they're not on my screen and they're hitting me, or other weird things where, like you said, you get hit in the head so many times it feels like you were killed by like a pre-nerf rogue or something, but it's a player. And you're suspicious about aimbots. But seeing how many people use ESP Like, I don't want to play a game where people are wall hacking in every single game. We talked about this before, but the reasons why I got into Tarkov were the deepness of like the gun modification systems, the health systems, the different management systems, like playing in this immersive simulator. And I don't want it to exactly mirror real life because that's a little bit too far, but like a lot of the different things that you have to deal with and concepts that you have to balance in your head when you're playing the game is just so interesting. And knowing that there's people out there that can see through walls, like I'm not playing like Alien versus Predator, bro. I'm trying to play PMCs versus PMCs in this crazy place in Russia. It doesn't feel legit when at least one person on the map with you pretty much all the time is looking through walls. That's crazy. I don't want to engage in that. I don't want to.
Nobody does.
Arena.
Nobody
The
wants
way
that.
forward is difficult, and it's a lot of work, and maybe it can't be solved today or tomorrow.
Will it ever be
And
solved?
I don't want this video to be a big complaint fest, but like honestly, the information that I gathered in my first night, I had a voice changer on because I have been recognized.
Will it ever be solved? Tarkov has been out for a while. They've had plenty of time to work on these issues, and they're not.
In raid, probably once a week, I'll say, "Hey there, bud," and someone goes, "Goat," and I'm like, "Oh, damn." And so I was like, "Well, I probably can't just, use my voice without getting caught, because like I'm gonna be saying some things and doing things that are gonna look shady, and if you don't know what I'm doing, like it can be perceived wrong, right?" So I was like, I'm gonna use a voice changer. After the first night, I stopped using the voice changer because I realized I don't really care what anyone thinks. I've decided this is such a big issue. Like I'm not coming back until it's like at least in a reasonable place. And I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
I honestly think it's way more likely that they just release a new game and they don't even fix the issues. They'll just release a new game and there won't be any new cheats on the new game. And maybe they commit to anti-cheat on the new game, or they implement a new anti-cheat system. But at this point in Tarkov's lifespan, do they really care so much about the longevity of the game? Because I bet their primary focus is probably developing another game right now.
But I sure as hell hope it does, because I've played this game since 2017. It's been my main game.
Tarkov 2.
I love it. Like I will always love this game. I always want to play this game, and I want it to be fixed. It's just
Rarkov.
It's just not yet.
X3.
I've had a bunch of situations playing this game where I've sat doing something and just had this like wave wash over me of like this is like easily one of the best games ever made. I remember one of them in particular.
This guy's so in love with Tarkov.
So insane to me, and I'm sure everyone has a story like this. And when you're in that moment, it's so tense, but so incredibly deeply rewarding.
I know it
you
is.
just have to understand. Like I've never experienced that in any other.
It truly is
I've
one of a
referenced
kind
Eve
experience.
Earlier in this conversation, I've never even experienced anything that intense in Eve. It's not really the same.
It's like a
and I
drug,
love
dude.
this
He's
freaking
addicted
game.
to the drug.
And it's just frustrating that it has.
He
these
can't get
problems.
enough of it.
And the criticisms that I lob against it aren't because screw BSG, screw I hate these developers.
He can't get he can't get enough of the high, and the cheaters are they're watering down his meth, and he can't handle it. He's sad.
No, I really like this game, and I think a lot of what BSG has done has been good. Maybe I didn't immediately recognize why it was good. Maybe it was bad, and they fixed it down the line. Doesn't really matter. People are going to make mistakes, but like the state that it's currently in with cheating, with ESP players in practically every raid, makes it unplayable. And I want it to be fixed, and I want the community to care about it so that it does get fixed, because I want to be able to play this game. I want other people to be able to play this game, and I want people to be able to play this game and have fun and not just constantly be concerned about whether or not the simulator that they're playing is actually legit.
I feel like the game dies if the community doesn't make it known, like what they want and what needs to be fixed. And that's where I'm at, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they gotta fix it good, man.
Survive
if they don't do a really good
people
job with the fixes,
quietly quitting. And I think quitting because
just
of
gonna keep
cheaters is
happening.
not
It'll never
necessarily
stop.
something that most people like.
and if some people are cheating, then a whole bunch of the other community, the whole bunch of the community is gonna get upset with that small group of people that are cheating, and they're gonna start cheating too.
And it gets banned on the main subreddit. Like no one's really allowed talking about it. It's been this weird hush hush issue forever. And I think that has resulted in people not talking about it a ton. It's really, really, really bad. Yeah. I'm not going to play until something noticeable changes. I might play, like, if there's a wipe, I'll play for the like first week or two at the beginning, because that was just fun regardless. But I won't play in any substantial way until something changes. We need community moderation. No form of automatic anti-cheat is going to fix this problem. We need some type of like replay system. Every time that I brought that up, people are like, oh, we can't have kill cams in Tarkov. I'm not asking for a kill cam, bro. I don't want to be able to see it immediately, but like when that map fully closes, I would like to be able to go back and review how the map played, see it from different people's perspectives.
So you can
see that type
have
of
a replay system like Dark and Darker, where you can't spectate other players until your whole team is dead. Simple.
stuff. That if someone just beats me because they're
Then you can't feed information to your teammates until after they're extracted or after they've been wiped. Simple.
better. That is such a better feeling than constantly questioning if someone's cheating. I would way rather suck at the game than just constantly have people kill me because
and admire the people who beat you.
I'm actually dick riding Dark and Darker this whole video. That's insane.
Someone who's streaming, and you're like, damn. And you go back and you watch their stream, and you're like, damn. You're like, nice job.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, maybe that
it's
inspires
okay.
you to like check out their settings or like how they play the game or how they approach the game or how they modified their various weapons or what their loadout was or whatever. It inspires you to try to be better and grow and move forward. That sounds silly to say in a gaming sense.
Yeah, dude, if I get my ass collapsed by another player, it's so satisfying to go watch them and then like check their loadout, check their build, check their skills, right? Check how they check corners, right? How do they go into a room? How do they clear this room, right? Like what do they choose to keep in their inventory? What do they choose to loot? Like how do they approach the game? That's really nice aspect of the game. They should definitely add that. Like I love that.
It sounds like personal life motivation, but for real.
It can't possibly be that hard to add.
Instead of just feeling defeated all the time. I don't know.
This isn't the WAN show. I don't have 3 hours, okay?
That's fair. That's fair.
Thank you, Luke, for coming on. Be nice in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.
Peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed. W video. Honestly, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I was going to start the pot. Someone had blah, blah, blah. Pastilli's like one of the biggest Tarkov creators. Well, my only fear now is every creator is going to replicate this video for views. And the whole integrity of creators will go to shit. I don't think that's true, man. I don't think the integrity of creators will go to shit for like exposing that. Right, okay. For every single blah 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 blah. BSG companies do not care about the Russian speaking community. They listen only to Western opinion. You won't believe it, but 3 people already filmed such a video in Russia back in January. BSG just 3 strikes them and didn't spread. I feel like a lot of people have made videos about this, and it just never makes like BSG just never does anything about it. But it's really curious how he's saying that they're gonna listen to the Western opinion. Doubt it. BSG is the type of company to ban the wiggle instead of fixing cheating. That's fucking hilarious, man.